During these last 5 years that I have led the Miami Jewish Film Festival, I have absolutely constantly have tried to raise the bar. Not in terms of just expectation of quality, of course, content, and assuring that we're going to always present the highest quality programming that we can, even within the narrow theme of Jewish or Israeli cinema. We will not provide an experience that is underwhelming to our audience. Of course, that is important. As important, maybe even more important, is to challenge our community, challenge our audience, challenge our film lovers to allow themselves to see something and discover something that is unusual, that they normally wouldn't even tolerate maybe. If it means showing an art house black and white movie, or a film from a country they otherwise would not appreciate to see at a multiplex, or even a film about a subject that they have no interest in. If we can inspire them to trust the promise of what this festival offers, that what they will have at the end of that screening is a lasting impression, one that will stay with them, one that they will celebrate, even one that will just make them feel good. That's what we're working towards. Every year we're trying to raise the bar. Now, how do we do that? We don't do it alone. Again, we don't work in silos. The film industry is an industry of relationships, a web of relationships, all interconnected. The handshake that you have at one festival 3 years ago is one that you'll be mindful of, and may even be mindful of, this coming season. It's very important how you relate to others. It's very important that you maintain a sense of integrity and trust. The bridges that you burn are very hard to rebuild. In the community that we're in, where one is so relying on the other, what I mean by that is, I don't create the content. I don't produce films. None of us do who manage festivals, for the most part, if I can say that. We rely on the actual creators to spend years of their lives, mortgage their homes, plea for funding, to finally create a content that within 15 minutes we'll be evaluating there and then, once we get a link or once we go to the film screening, to kind of discuss whether this film is going to work for our interests or not. 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, you basically have a sense whether the film is going to work or not. So all that years of self-sacrifice, of hard work, of labor, kind of winds down to just 15 minutes for me, for the role that I'm in. How you communicate the affirmation or rejection is very important. It's one of the most important things in terms of strengthening a friendship. Because your friendship's clearly going to be strengthened if you're going to accept the film. And with that comes a sense of trust that the director or the producer or the distributor or the sales rep is giving you, that you're not going to let them down, that you're going to create so much visibility and excitement and buzz around their film, and target the film to just the correct audience so that it's the exact kind of premiere that they would envision, that they would hope to have. On the other hand, if it's a rejection, and again, the Miami Jewish Film Festival receives over 2,000 film submissions. Over 2,000 short films and feature films are submitted to the Miami Jewish Film Festival. And our general lineup consists of about, 60 to 80 films? So there's an extraordinary amount of rejection that we have to go through on a day-to-day, to week, to month basis. And we are very sensitive over how we communicate this rejection. We want to make sure that people understand that just because the film may not work for us, this year doesn't mean that the other 200-300 Jewish film festivals or even the other 500 international festivals would not consider this movie. And I always am glad to share myself as a reference, help any way I can, so that people know that we're not just simply removing ourselves from this conversation just because this movie doesn't have any interest for us. You can't work that selfishly. Because again, that person that you are saying no to today may be the person you need to say yes to in a year or 2 or 3 years. It's very important that you relate to others in the most sincere and honest way possible. And you would hope that they would do the same with you.